What is going on, everyone? I hope you are all having a fantastic day. So we have looked at a number of really cool credit card options here on the channel, but today we've got a fairly new but very unique option from a company that you've probably heard of before, Venmo. So today let's break down everything that the Venmo credit card has to offer and see how you can get 3% cash back on purchases and gain access to some other really unique benefits. All right, let's jump right into it. So just in case you aren't familiar with Venmo, it is a very popular peer-to-peer transfer app similar to Cash App that allows you to send or receive money to friends or family. With that said, I will tell you right off the bat that if you're not a Venmo user, then this card is probably not going to be the best option for you, but the overall Venmo platform is fine and it works just like any other peer-to-peer transfer app. So if you do like the features of this credit card, then you will want to go ahead and open up a Venmo account in order to apply. All right, so why would Venmo get into the credit card space, and what is it about this credit card that makes it so unique? Well, for starters, let's get the basic stuff out of the way. First of all, there is no annual fee, which is always a good thing, especially with these entry-level credit cards. But on the flip side of the coin, there's also no sign-up bonus or intro offer that you get with some higher-end credit cards. But at the end of the day, the rewards that you're getting with this card are pretty great, and it's not really that big of a deal that there's no intro offer, in my opinion. Okay, so about those rewards. You're currently going to earn 3% cash back on your top spending category, 2% back on your second highest spending category, and 1% back on everything else. Now, I know that might sound really confusing and overly complicated, and I'm sure that a lot of you might be the type who doesn't really want to have to activate any categories or worry about optimizing your spending. And I totally get that, because honestly, that can get way too confusing, and it's usually not even worth it. But while the 3% here and 2% there might sound really confusing, I promise you it is very simple, and it's all going to be done for you. Basically, you just go ahead and spend on this card like you would with any other credit card, and at the end of each billing cycle, Venmo is automatically going to figure out which spending category you spent the most in and which spending category you spent the second most in. And you're going to get, again, 3% back in your highest category, 2% back on your second highest category, and 1% on everything else. And again, you don't have to go into the app and activate any categories or worry about anything like that. And your top spending category can change month to month depending on where you are spending most of your money. So as far as the overall user experience is concerned, this is really going to work in the same way as other flat cashback credit cards, which in my opinion is a bonus, because I know sometimes those rolling categories can get a little confusing and it's just not necessary in this case. Now, when I say spending categories, you might be wondering what I mean by that. Well, Venmo is going to categorize all of your spending into 8 different categories, which are groceries, utilities, health and beauty, gas, entertainment, dining, transportation, and travel. So let's say one month you go ahead and book a trip with this credit card and you pay for the airfare and hotel. Well, assuming that you don't blow a ton of money in a different category, the travel category is probably going to be your highest spending category for that billing cycle, meaning you're going to earn 3% cash back on all of those purchases. Then maybe dining and going out to eat was your second highest spending category, so you're automatically going to earn 2% back on those purchases and obviously 1% back on everything else. So that's pretty unique, and this particular model is not something that I have seen from any competitors. But how do you actually get this cash back? Well, again, it's going to be pretty simple and automated, and any cashback that you earn is just going to appear in your Venmo balance at the end of each billing cycle. And if you're familiar with how the Venmo app works, then you know that this means that you can move that money right into your bank account, use it to pay a friend or family member, or you can apply it right back to your credit card balance, which I really like. On top of that, there's no foreign transaction fee, which is always a bonus, and there's no minimum redemption for your cash back or anything like that, meaning even if you only earn 10 cents in cash back, well, that is automatically going to be put into your Venmo balance, and you don't have to worry about hitting some minimum threshold in order to get your cash back. The other really unique feature with this card is the design, which might not sound that cool, but it's actually going to give you a personalized QR code right on the front of your Venmo credit card, and that actually makes splitting up the bill with your friends or family members at a restaurant really, really easy. For example, let's say you and 3 friends go out to eat and get some drinks. Well, instead of going through the whole headache of having the waiter or waitress split up your check 4 different ways and having everybody have to swipe their own credit cards, you can just pay with your credit card and then have your friends scan that QR code and they can pay you back immediately through the Venmo app without you having to chase them down. And that's really unique and something that I haven't seen from any competitors. Now, that might be useless to some of you, but for the right person, this feature is probably something that you will use a lot. One other bonus that we have seen from some competitors is you can start using this card today. Like literally after this video, you can go ahead and apply, and because it is a physical card but also a virtual card that is linked to the Venmo app, as soon as you are approved, you can go ahead and start using that credit card without having to wait for the physical version to arrive in the mail. So overall, this card is really unique, but what are the drawbacks? Because I always want to show you both sides of the coin. Well, the biggest bummer in this case with the card, in my opinion, is after the first year, those 3% and 2% bonus categories for cashback are capped after you spend $10,000 for the year. So depending on how much money you typically spend each month, you might either never hit that spending category if you don't spend that much money, meaning this won't really affect you, or you might hit that spending cap in the first month if you spend a lot of money on this card. So depending on where your spending habits lie, you might actually have a huge ding in cash back after the first year because you're going to be capped on this 3% and 2% bonus categories. Now, that is definitely a bummer, but again, you might not spend $10,000 a year, meaning this won't really affect you, and similar competitor cards like the Discover It card, for example, do tweak their rewards after the first year, so it's not something that is really abnormal when compared to the competition. Like I said earlier, you're also not going to have any welcome offer or sign-up bonus, which isn't that big of a deal, considering it is a free credit card. But one other bummer is that some purchases won't fall into one of those 8 spending categories that we talked about earlier, meaning regardless of how much money you might spend on that particular thing, you might only earn 1% cash back because it's not going to be in those bonus categories. So again, just take a look at your spending habits to see where you spend most of your money and what those bonus categories are, because you might get a lot of benefit out of this card, or you might not really spend a lot in any of those categories. All right, now for the question that all of you seem to ask, regardless of what credit card I am reviewing: what credit score do you need in order to get this card? Well, through my research and after looking at a lot of Q&A sections, unfortunately, I wouldn't say that this is a beginner credit card option. Most articles that I found say that you need a high 600 or more in order to get approved, but as always, this is going to depend on a ton of other variables and your credit history and other things like your income. So even if you don't hit that recommended score, don't just write it off, because the worst thing that can happen is you apply, get denied, and move on to the next best option. That being said, the rewards and benefits that this card offers do kind of make it feel like a beginner credit card, so it is a bummer that you have to probably have some credit history in order to get it, but if you do already have an established credit score and you are a user of the Venmo platform and you like that app, then this is honestly going to be a no-brainer, because you might as well get some cash back when you spend money on this card. So I would love to hear what you think of the Venmo credit card down in the comment section below, and how you feel it stacks up against similar competition like the Discover It card. At the end of the day, I don't think it's something that I personally would find a whole lot of use for in my spending habits, but again, this is all going to depend on your spending habits, and I think that right now, for the right person, this is a fantastic option to, number one, add another line of credit to your credit report and continue growing your credit score, while also getting some really unique and awesome benefits and cash back as well. As always, if you did get value out of this content, it would mean a lot to me if you would hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone who you think would get value out of this content as well. And of course, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch my video. I seriously do appreciate that so much. Take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.